As a man, why would you say the word no?
I bet. So the next time you ask me, oh babe, do this dress make me look fat? Yes.
You know what? I have something that I need to say. I am tired of the men that just don't go for it. They're just so scared. They think that they're gonna get rejected when it's like, bruh, like, just take a freaking chance. I am tired, sick and tired of this, excuse my language, but this energy.
I want to be approached. I definitely want to be approached.
You don't take child support payments from him, do you?
Yes, he leaves them there.
Blocking on Venmo?
He should. That makes it so much easier on him to just Venmo me instead of going to the bank. He's doing everything the easiest that it can possibly be done for Chase, and he's done that the whole time we've been together.
Why would you not want it to be easy if he's going to send you money? Why would you not want that to be easy for him?
Because it takes one more thing off of Chase that he has to do.
You know, once again, these modern women really don't know what they want. Oh, I want a nice guy, but I want him to be, want him to be edgy. Or I want the good guy, but I want him to have a little bad in him. So what do you want? What are you looking for? You guys, and that's why a lot of modern women are single. They continue to try to control the narrative and control the situation in each and every environment they go into. They're always trying to, well, you can't wear this or do that or be here. But if a man were to say in reverse, hey, I don't know if you should be going to the club. Hey, I don't know if you should be wearing that. Then all of a sudden we got a problem. Then all of a sudden we got an issue. As if the man didn't say something wrong. As if the man was, oh man, you offended me by saying I couldn't do something. You need a little bit of direction in your life with the way you be acting.
There's nothing about a man that's attractive to me anymore. I'm dead ass. And I've heard so many women saying the same exact thing. We're moving so different now as women. Like, y'all better buckle the up, because you're gonna have to go back to the olden days where you had to like earn our love. And don't come over here on this like, oh, you're a single mom, like you can't have high standards. A single mom is the one that will take care of you the most. We're running our own businesses, we're making our own money. If I need something fixed in my house, I'm gonna call the maintenance guys. Something breaks on my car, I'm gonna take it down to the car shop. I'm gonna pay another man to do it.
She talks about how a single mom, she says, would be the kind of woman who would take care of men the most. And then she says, we run our own business, we make our own money. Honey, stop. That's not taking care of a man. That's not what they're looking for. They don't need you to run your own business. They don't need you to be making all the money. They don't need you to be a man. They're already a man.
When a man is correcting his woman, is that a sign of love or control? I think a lot of women see that as control. But strange enough, if a friend is correcting them, like a certain behavior, or a family member, they'll see it more as love. They don't want them going down the wrong path, doing something that might be detrimental to them in the long run. But if their man corrects them, oh, you're just trying to tell me what to do, it's harder for them to see that as love. But I think if your man is not trying to correct you on certain things, check behaviors that might be detrimental. Isn't that more alarming? Like, say you're driving down the wrong way on a one-way street, doesn't say anything. He just watches you go the wrong way. I don't know. What do you guys think?
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
All right, ladies, here's a quick one for you. For a single man who possibly has his head on straight, who's trying to make some things happen, I didn't say the perfect man, and I didn't say it's every man. There's no absolutes, but here's one. Try Home Depot late in the evening after all the crowd has gone in and out, or try Home Depot during the day before everybody gets in there. He's on a mission. He don't have time to be in the long lines. So when he come at you, he gonna be in and out. Boom, bam. He gonna come at you fast, and you got to make a decision right then and there. Also, the grocery store. He coming in the morning or late in the evening, not during the time that the crowds are there. Ladies, you ever had this thing? You just gonna run into the store, you throw a ball cap on, some sweats, and then everybody seem like they trying to talk to you? If that's happened, then take what I'm sharing with you. Peace.
A lot of brothers out here are tired of this one-sided effort, man. You're tired of it. I shouldn't have to be doing all the work. I shouldn't be having to plan everything. I shouldn't have to pay for everything. I think it's exhausting, man. When you bring, it's always men. What do you bring to the table? Do you have a good job? What about your credit? What about the way, you treat people, your family, your friends, the waitress or the waiter? All of that is on display. But then a man says, okay, I put out a good amount of effort. Let's see what you can do. Then all of a sudden, oh, well, I'm not supposed to be putting out effort. I'm supposed to be resting. How many times a day you going to rest? How long you going to be resting? How much rest do you need? You rest for too long, you call lazy.
Part 2. So yeah, about the bear situation, I'm choosing a man because I'm definitely afraid of bears, grizzlies to be exact. But let's get back into it. You have to pay for conversation. Y'all are not approachable. Ladies, y'all don't be approachable. Too transactional, only wanting, always begging. Y'all be out here begging these men, sis? No. Yeah, I know, sis. Too much attitude. Most act like escorts. Y'all put y'all dates on social media and make men look like creeps. They do not like that when y'all post y'all videos about y'all dates. They are afraid of that you will get on social media and talk about them. Too masculine. Always looking for a man to pay their bills. Men are valuing themselves over y'all. Not worth it, no peace. Part 3.
If we want to attract better, we have to be better. But that means we have to understand that that person in the mirror, is at the pinpoint of all of our pain. We have allowed ourselves to have the experiences that we had in the past. We have allowed ourselves to be talked down to. We have allowed our triggers to make us fumble a good man or a good situation. We have allowed our false and inflated sense of ego and options to make us think that we're ready to give up a good situation because this famous celebrity is liking my stuff on Instagram. People have to be real with themselves. We really don't have as many options as we think we do. They'll smash you, especially as a woman. Oh my God. Yeah, you can get on the boat. Yeah, you can get on the yacht. Yeah, you can get a bag. You're going to get smashed and then you're going to get dashed. And if that's what you want, do that. But if it's not what you want, then you have to do different, which means you have to have compassion inside of your own healing as well, because it doesn't necessarily always feel good to be like, I really am the drama. Like, it's really me for real. But there's power in being able to say, it's me for real, because the only thing I have control over is me. I have control over myself.
Honestly, I ain't against a lot of these modern women, getting out there, getting the bag, doing their thing, building a career. Fantastic. But the fact that y'all have allowed feminism, this nonsense, to take over your brain, to think that you're better than a man, that you can outdo a man, outmatch a man, outpace a man in everything is crazy work. It's crazy work. I can call somebody right now to fix this. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Sorry. You're going to call a man. You're going to call a man because he's naturally better at it than you. He's more gifted than you. So this type of stuff of, oh, well, I'm just better and I'm, they say equality, but like I said, really what they mean is superiority. I'm better than you. Because y'all have some stupid agenda that you listen to that's got you out here acting silly.
No, we fighting.
We're fighting?
We fighting.
Yeah, sure, fuck it.
Let's go. I've been beefing with you.
You've been beefing with me?
Since 19 AD. 19 AD, I finally found you.
Hold on, let me put my face down. Hold on.
Yeah. Get ready. Yeah, make sure you stretch. Get comfortable. Make sure everything good. Do some jumping jacks, get warmed up. I think we're ready now.
This is my friend, Jill.
You next, all right?
Give me 5 minutes, I'll be there.
One. Oh. Rematch? Oh. Oh. I didn't? No. All right, let's go then. Oh. Hey, last time. Oh, you got
No more beef.
Men actually respect marriages. My DMs were extremely dry. Nobody would approach me. But these women, they will throw themselves at a married man like it's nothing. It's like, oh, well, whatever.
I want to say no, because that's usually my go-to. Let's say I'm walking down the street, somebody's trying to talk to me, I don't want to be bothered. That's my first line. I'll say, sorry, I'm married. And the first thing is, well, where's your ring at?
I feel like it's all about how the woman carries herself, right? Because men are only going to approach who they feel are approachable.
One of our iconic episodes where Eli tells a woman to stop messing with a married man.
Is he toxic to me? No. He does what the I want him to do. He's not toxic to me. Is he toxic to his wife and his kid? Absolutely, because he's not.
Well, why are you dealing with it like that, son?
Hey, it's what are you talking about?
How is that not your business?
That's not my business.
It's something about a man that's in a committed relationship that just turns other women on. I think women are very attracted to men that's taken because they want to see why he's taken. Women know that men are in other relationships and will be the aggressive one pursuing that person.
This is my proof that I think that the population is going to slowly decline because I am in a room of like 100 men and not one of them has approached. I just think men this day and age don't want to date.
I just think men in this day and age just don't want to deal with all the bull that women give them. Y'all always complaining about something. If he come and try to talk to you and he don't make 6 figures, you gonna turn him down and talk about him. So why would a man want to approach you? If you feel that he don't look the part, and everybody, you know, everybody have what, you know, entitled to what they feel like they like and attracted to. But y'all could be like some of the rudest people to somebody that you feel is not attracted to. And it'd be wrong. It's a way to let somebody down without going in on them or making them feel this big. So I don't blame men. I wouldn't approach women either, because for what? Like, y'all gonna reject them, but when y'all reject them in a way. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all talking about nobody try to talk to you. For what? And look at you. You sitting there making a video about them talking. So what? Like, girl, sit down somewhere.
Should Christians celebrate Christmas? I mean, isn't it a pagan holiday?
Most Christians don't celebrate Christ on Christmas. They celebrate the culture. They put up the tree, the matching pajamas, the Santa movies, the gifts, the vibes, and then they squeeze in Jesus into a 2-hour slot. So here's the real question. Does what you're doing point people to Jesus or to the holiday? If the music, the Santa stuff, the traditions, if all that stuff pulls your heart more to the season than toward the Savior, that's mixture, and mixture always weakens devotion. Listen, Jesus did not come so that you could feel that holiday vibe. He came to save us from sin.
Amen.
Now, there's nothing sinful about winter lights, family time, or giving gifts, but when those things overshadow the King, or when your life looks like the world's December, your message gets blurry. So no, I'm not telling you it's a sin to drink hot cocoa or enjoy winter lights. I'm saying stop mixing it with devotion. Stop calling cultural celebration worship. Stop putting Christ in the same category as Santa, movies, and decoration. Keep your worship pure. Keep your devotion separate. Keep your life set apart. If you want to remember his birth, do it. But do it because of the gospel, not because the calendar says it's Christmas. You don't have to follow every cultural tradition to honor God. Just make sure your life is pointing to Christ, not the culture's version of him.
If, like me, you're a woman that men typically aren't attracted to, how do you feel about a situation where somebody that you're attracted to or interested in finds out that you are attracted or interested? Because for me, that is a terrifying thought. When I was little, a bunch of guys found out that I had a crush on a boy and they teased me relentlessly, and ever since then, I've been a little obsessive about making sure that guys that I'm interested in have no clue that I'm interested in them. Because here's the thing. I know that those guys don't reciprocate. I have a really bad habit of only being attracted to men that would never in a million years see me that way. So I just know. Like, you can come in the comments and be like, oh, but you never know, Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. And I will do things, or have done things, to make sure that they never find out. I have actively ignored guys that I've been interested in. I have actively been mean to guys that I've been interested in just so that they never know that I have a crush on them. I also obsessively monitor my body language to make sure that I'm not doing anything that might give me away. I'm not playing with my hair too much. I'm not fussing with my appearance too much. I'm not doing all those little body language tips and tricks you see on the internet that indicate attraction or interest. I make sure, just to be on the safe side, that I'm not displaying any of that. The only thing I can't do is control my pupils. If my pupils dilate when I look at a guy, hopefully he can't tell because of my glasses. That's how I feel about that. Because the thought of somebody I am interested in finding out terrifies me.
So what I'm hearing is she's actively hostile to guys she's interested in, ignoring them, being mean to them just to hide her feelings. That's real talk right there. A lot of men are doing the exact same thing in reverse, checking out, pulling back, being distant because they've already decided the person isn't worth the effort. And then later people act confused about why the connection died.
A real woman wouldn't waste a man's time. She would give him the type of relationship that provides him with the greatest freedom and satisfaction, irrespective of her own interests and desires. And a real woman certainly wouldn't put her friends or her finances or her career or herself ahead of her relationship. She needs to woman up and make sacrifices as appropriate. After all, happy spouse, happy house, right? A real woman is fit and feminine, so the man can abide in his masculine. For some reason, he just isn't able to do that unless she shows up in a certain way, and so it falls on her to do so. And she definitely needs to woman up and take responsibility for a man, both materially and emotionally. Otherwise, he is well within his rights to walk. Don't waste his time, ladies. Like, do any of these statements sound familiar? Like, of course not. We would never hear these coming from the dominant culture. And if and when they are voiced in corners of the internet, they are immediately denounced as sexist and misogynistic. And how could that be? Like, as a social observer, I'm curious about how the same advice can be normalized when directed to one gender and villainized when directed to the other, and not be sexist. It raises some questions, to say the least.
One of the arguments in the red pill space that I see is that chivalry is women no longer want a man wearing a cape, right? And therefore we're out. We're out. We want nothing to do with women. We've tried to do our part. They want nothing to do with us. And what I want to say is that chivalry is some starting line, basic performative. And I'm not saying chivalry can't be appreciated, right? I like common decency. I like being kind to people, but chivalry is the starting line, right? It is like an interpersonal interaction between a man and a woman, courtship, etc. It has nothing to do with the overarching dynamic between men and women as a whole. Like if you're a guy and you think you're doing your part to support women because you hold a door open or pull out a chair, you're out of your mind. This isn't the 1950s anymore, bro. These red pill guys, women don't want a man wearing a cape anymore. It's because they don't need it. They don't need a man wearing a cape. They have their own cape. They don't need your paycheck. They don't need you holding the door for them anymore. If they want those things, awesome. But that's up to women. Women don't need men anymore. The question is, do women want men? And that's where some of you are really struggling. You mean I can't just make the money and hold the door open for her and buy her flowers and then her body is mine whenever I want it? No, this isn't the Mad Men alternate reality that you think you're living in. Here's the last thing that I'm going to say, okay? At the end of the day, I think that men are being forced to listen to women for the first time, and that's why we're seeing all of the problems that we're seeing.
Diabolical things I want in a man. Number one, height. My man's got to be above 6'2". My last two boyfriends were 6'3". Both of them. And they were jacked. And they looked really good. How am I supposed to downgrade from that? So, unfortunately, my next man will have to be 6'2" and up. Number two, you can't have a gut. I need you built. I need you fit and going to the gym multiple times a week. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to date a fat guy.
Now, what's never going to add up for me is you want tall, fit, and attractive, and you had that twice. And you fumbled them both. But you're on the internet right now, actively searching for that same exact prototype. He needs to have multiple streams of income. And then she said, we need to be able to make as much money as possible. And I'm like, we? Who is we? Because it's all going to be him. What you want is for him to be able to pay for everything while you sit on your lazy and do nothing. And of course, she's materialistic. Expensive gift, expensive vacay, flying business, all that she herself can't afford. By the way, he needs to have an expensive watch or multiple. And it can't be no Rolex because guess what? Rolex is now considered cheap. I just know she's broke because it's usually the brokies and the useless ones that has the highest standards.
Real talk. That's exactly it. She had it twice and couldn't keep it. But now she's searching for the same exact guy while sitting around broke. That's the problem right there. She wants him to provide everything: money, gifts, vacations, stuff she can't even afford herself. Meanwhile, she's got nothing to bring to the table except demands. Men see that pattern and they check out. Why would he stick around?
I've made videos about men being attracted to teenagers that got virtually no response from men in the comment. They know that to be true. Everyone knows. I made videos that most married men are cheating on their wives. Everybody knows that. The evidence is there. Virtually no response from men. But I made one video, and the men are fighting for their lives in the comments. I said that a man is not a provider for simply paying household bills in a home that his children reside in. He's simply taking care of his basic adult responsibilities, and he would have to pay those bills whether he had a wife or not. He had to pay them before her, and he will have to pay them after the marriage ends. But when he pays them in a marriage, he gets immense credit from society and an inflated ego about it. And in most cases, all men have to do in marriage is pay the basic bills and come home, and they don't have to contribute nothing to the raising of the children, the duties of the household, or the maintenance of a marriage. They just get to come home and relax because they are the provider. Men know this trick very well. Upon getting married, they also obtained a maid, a cook, a nanny, and a sex worker for that same salary. Men are worried that if women figure out that having a title with most men is not a glory, in fact, it's a detriment to most women's mental and emotional health, they are worried that if they can't convince you that that title is a ticket to the good life, they're going to have a very hard time obtaining all of these services for a very mediocre and average salary. Men are extremely worried that women will figure out this scam, because how are they going to obtain all these services if you figure out that you're the one giving him the fairy tale?
Why isn't he gonna f me? Why doesn't he want to f me? Now I want to f him. All the guys, if I want to f them, are the guys who are not actively trying to f me.
Women are this simple. That last sentence you just said, forget every little bit of dating advice I've ever told you. Just rewind that last 5-second rant she went on.
My best friend's man says she's no longer allowed to talk to me. Okay, so I'm trying to plan an absolute banger of a weekend since I am single and I can, and she was like, I can't go. What? She was like, girl, I am so sorry, but my man said to me, girl, you're not going. I don't think that you should be around Megan anymore. I was like, hang on a second. He was totally fine with you hanging out with me when I had a man, but now all of a sudden, no? What the fuck is that?
That is a completely logical response to a man in a relationship with a woman whose friend wants to go out and do single stuff. Like, how is that so hard to comprehend? You literally just said yourself you're going to have a banger of a weekend because you can, and you're single. You weren't doing these things. I'm assuming you're doing host because you weren't doing these things when you had a man. And that's when you didn't have a problem with y'all hanging out, because you were doing things that people in relationships do, not single people. Now that you're single and you want to go out and you want to get up and you want to dance and you want to meet boys and do all this other, it's like, why would he let his girl go out and do that? No, that's just going to end up with her being single like you. No thanks. And kudos to this woman, because y'all can say that this is controlling or whatever you want. You can scream it up and down. But this is a woman that clearly respects her man and does not want to ruin her relationship. And y'all really need to figure out who your actual friends are, because if your friends are trying to get you to go out and do single and trying to cause problems in your relationship, they're not really your friend.
I'm not mad at white folks about what their ancestors did to my ancestors, and some of you motherfuckers still trying to do. I just know that we all got to live together. We got to work together. That's why you ever watch my act, you'll see my, I don't even do no fucking racist joke. So I'm gonna just do one. Okay. White man, a black man, an Asian, and a Hispanic. They're all on top of this tall mountain, Mount Jaro, Mount whatever. The Hispanic said, this is for my people, jumped off the mountain. The Asian said, this is for my people, jumped off the mountain. Black man said, this is for my people, grabbed the white dude, threw that. But white folks, when you tell it, just flip it. Just flip it. Anybody can tell it, just flip it.
Look, this transcript is pretty hard to follow, so I'm not sure what the actual point is here. It sounds like there's a joke or a story about different groups making sacrifices, but the audio cuts off and repeats in ways that make it tough to land on what's actually being said.
I was falsely accused of sexual assault, thrown in prison, bailed out on $250,000 bail with no criminal record. I hired a private detective. We learned that this person had done it many times in other states. They drugged me in the bar on camera, multiple eyewitnesses.
Did the person in question go to prison after?
They had zero interest in prosecuting a girl who made the story up, never showed up to court again. I had to fight for 11 months, and then when I was able to prove it with video evidence, they just dismissed me.
There's so many girls that do go through that, and to falsely accuse someone that they didn't do it, and then nothing happens to them. I think that's ridiculous.
Well, the problem is the women that do the false accusing, they really hurt the girls that really were hurt. I'm not going to let one evil person, when there's 100 great people and one bad person, I'm not going to let that person ruin my outlook on life.
I really appreciate this man coming on camera and telling his story, because all too often, even when a man is proven innocent, he has fear of even talking about the situation because there's so many people that will still think that he did something. Men that are falsely accused absolutely have long-lasting consequences. And I'm honestly tired of seeing content out there from women that say otherwise. I think they would like to think that nothing negative happens to a man's life, so you might as well believe the woman as soon as she accuses him. But that's not true, hence why it is so important why men like this speak up. It is also why all of us, men and women, should absolutely be on board with laws that give consequences to false accusations. Because to not have that, which is the system that we are in right now, there are people becoming victims within our justice system, and that is messed up.
When a woman is with a real man, a grounded, masculine man, she changes. She doesn't need to control. She doesn't test him. She doesn't argue for power because she feels safe in his. A healthy woman wants to follow a man who leads with strength and consistency. She doesn't follow because she's weak. She follows because she trusts. That's the difference. When she's with the right man, her walls drop. Her feminine comes alive again. The softness, the nurturing, the desire to please and support him. She amplifies his energy, not competes with it. She'll pour into him, cook for him, touch him, speak life into him because his leadership earns that devotion. He makes her feel safe enough to surrender, and that is beautiful. That is the polarity that I always talk about. When the masculine leads, the feminine blooms. Men, stop chasing women who don't want to follow, and women, stop fighting men who are built to lead you. When both people are in their natural roles, peace replaces chaos, love replaces power struggles, and the attraction never dies. That's the relationship that everybody wants, right? But very few are actually brave enough to build it.
Nah, that's right. And here's what people don't want to admit. Men already know this. A lot of guys have checked out because they got tired of fighting for power in a relationship that was supposed to be a partnership. When a man stops trying to lead, it's usually because he realized she didn't actually want to follow. She wanted to compete. And once that trust is gone, it's hard to get back. You know, a lot of these modern women, the thing that they do is they try to compare a regular dude, like an average man, to a celebrity. And they're saying, if this man can do it, then you can. And the issue with that is that a lot of these modern women don't do what a lot of these celebrity women do, right? You're not a celebrity. You don't have the cachet or the status of a celebrity woman. Yeah, I have access to the same makeup and the same dress, though. You don't have their presence, their audience. You don't have really anything, to be honest. So why don't we just treat each other like normal human beings instead of you trying to make me put you up on a pedestal? Well, I had an athlete once, so you got to rise up to the occasion. No, I don't. Where is that athlete at now? Okay, you couldn't keep him. So why are you talking to me about something that you couldn't keep?